just to try and work with you. What is
Thank you so much. That was prominent people in the industry. So the next fireside chat is all about the role of here. So Mr. Amish Gupta is the moderator of the session. He is a co-founder of Snapper Technologies, and also he was ex-country head for Emerson, and he has also been leading one of the largest family offices in India in fund management. So I would like to welcome Mr. Amish Gupta, co-founder of Zebi. They are blockchaining the Indian database, and also they have recently raised pokers such as StarPoker.in, Spartan Poker use their platform to run their businesses, and they are also kind of moving their entire data onto the blockchain, the technology, the gaming. And Snapper is a proud partner for blockchaining their entire technology onto the gaming. So here we go. A big round of applause. Co-founder of Open Marketing and also Support Marketing, and who is also the investor and also a serial entrepreneur and has great experience in running successful companies.
Thank you, Prashant, and gentlemen and ladies. It's a very, I would say, accomplished panel, and I'm going to be fortunate introduction to this panel. And let me start with Pramod. And I had the fortunate, time to spend with both Babu and as well as Pramod during my lunchtime. So a pretty interesting conversation. I thought too much to share with the audience here, and certain set of questions which I think I can take on behalf of the audience, and any information from your side would be really grateful for information. So Pramod, saying again, you have the word gaming coin, and you're in the process of launching your platform, and you're already running a poker site. So what are the problems you see with the current financial systems, like typical in India, and how cryptocurrencies are solving it?
The biggest problem which I see, which cryptocurrency can solve, which India is facing, is it can solve the problem of counterfeit currencies. The biggest problem. And secondly, it can also curb on the parallel economy which is running in India. And because of the transparency of the system. Then the transaction time, speed, as well as the transaction cost for remittances. So I think these kind of problems can be solved through introduction of blockchain and the cryptocurrencies in India.
Okay, and since, just keep the mic with you, and since you're founding the word gaming coin, how do you think you're going to disrupt the market, the gaming market itself?
See, right now the biggest problem is with India, like for the gaming world, is that cross-border games is very difficult. Like for poker side, any Indian player who wants to play with any international player, or any international player who wants to play with the Indian on the Indian platform, it's very difficult to transfer or remit funds, and there are huge transfer charges. So this bird gaming coin will provide a platform on which we can join all the global players, and everybody can play on the same platform.
So is it the first ever attempt someone is doing like this, or are there only companies existing who have this kind of coin?
See, it's the first company which is getting into this and having a user base of around 0.5, half a million people. That's the first company.
Yeah.
So, but there are other people coming into it, but the most important part is the community, the user base, which they might be lacking, and we have an edge because of the user base.
So what is the status of your word gaming coin now? Where are you at that?
So by mid of next month, we will be having our pre-ICO launch.
Okay. Wow.
So
maybe the end of ICO will be
by April end.
Wow. And big plans with that?
Obviously.
Very good. Thank you, Pramod.
Thanks a lot.
You want to say something else?
No, thanks.
Okay, thank you, Pramod. And now, Babu, you can keep the mic with you. And I know you're loud. You're pretty loud and clear.
Okay,
So,
yeah, can you guys hear me? Probably they can.
They can.
Yeah.
Actually, they can.
He's gonna have one mic. Okay.
So, let me again give a quick introduction. So, again, happy to meet Babu over lunch, and he's, I would say, the first blockchain company I would know who has really have a product launched. And they already go through the government of Andhra Pradesh.
Government of Andhra Pradesh.
So,
We have a live contract, existing product
right.
running live with
So,
Andhra
the
Pradesh.
first question is, what is Zebi? I mean,
Zebi comes from Zebi byte, very, very large number, 1 trillion gigabytes. And Zebi wants to protect, blockchain protect all of India's big data. That's how we started. But in the last few weeks, because we got so much traction, we happen to be one of the few blockchain companies that actually have a live product and with a government that has a multi-year contract. I'm getting incoming calls from multiple countries now: US, Australia, Africa, Bangladesh. So I have to prioritize which one to take first.
Wow. So you already have this product launched. It's working with the government. It's already live now. What do you see the role of government now in adoption of blockchain for whatever use we have, e-governance we have?
Right. There are a lot of trust issues when it comes to subsidy payments or land record ownerships. More than 70% of all pending court cases in India. Guess what is the reason behind that? There are a lot of pending court cases in India. Land disputes, property disputes, right? And both Telangana government and Andhra Pradesh government, they're leading in terms of adopting new technologies, right? And we feel that that both Andhra Pradesh and Telangana will be the role model, not just for other Indian state governments, but for all the governments in the world. Right? There are very few governments that are actually that agile and that quick to adopt new technologies.
Yeah, and you're doing some similar discussions with other governments.
Certainly.
And how they're responding to it.
Some of the governments are very, very positive, very interested. Like I said, both Telangana and Andhra, and they have issued press releases. They want to adopt blockchain technology for their land records, for various other use cases.
So all these are state government, but at the center government level, are they
Yes.
trying to integrate the whole data at certain level where the cross-border, or when I say cross-border, interstate transaction can also happen now? When you talk of AP, I think you're talking about within AP. But
Within
what
AP.
about AP doing with Maharashtra, for example?
So Niti Aayog, you all must know Niti Aayog, right? And they talk about India level blockchain kind of arrangement called India Chain. So they're doing a prototype. I don't think they have a live product yet, but they have a pilot that wants to, for example, put education records on blockchain, right? And the specific question that you're asking, intrastate interactions, I don't think anybody is doing that, but again, that's a good use case to.
Yeah, that's the first step has been taken, and I'm sure.
Yeah.
And I think there are a lot of entrepreneurs in this room, and maybe some budding entrepreneurs also. And for them, it will be very interesting to know that you raised the ICO, and even the pre-launch,
Right.
you could raise about $2 million. So how did you do it?
We started in 2015. Just trying to build a product. We weren't in a rush to create something small and acquire users, get revenues quickly, and impress VCs. But we thought that we had a great idea, and we needed it takes time. We spent more than a year building a product, and we didn't even start with blockchain, by the way. We actually wanted to protect big data in a unique way, in a 100% tamper-proof, hacker-proof way, where even insiders cannot tamper or steal data. And we looked at hardware machines, we looked at various other technologies, but hardware machines, there are, write once and read only after that. The problem with that is, it works, you can write and the chip is burnt and you can never manipulate that. It's very, very expensive, you can't use it for big data. So we came across blockchain way back, in late 2015. And from that time onwards, we never looked back, right? We built our own proprietary Zebi private blockchain solution with flexibility to integrate with the Ethereum blockchain. And obviously, we have a live customer as a testament to the global innovation that we created. And in India, there are not too many startups that are actually taking that long-term vision. And even venture capital companies, they're not really encouraging that type of long-term vision. They want immediate results, right? I mean, it's not venturing. It's kind of creating a regular product. If you want to create a really differentiated product, you have to invest in the long term. And that's what I'm hoping more and more startups in India can do.
Excellent, amazing. And I'm not even, you want to share the balance of the story, or?
That's the reason why we
I'm
got
sorry, I know
here.
you too well over lunch now, so.
Right. So I mean, you can go to Zebi.io and see the success of our, our ICO. But really, we didn't do too much marketing. The growth is completely organic, right? We didn't pay, marketing companies charge a lot of money, and we didn't want to, I didn't want to spend, the money that I got from my own investors on marketing, which is really questionable. We focused completely on building a product, and that, obviously, eventually got a lot of attention from various ICO participants, and we are fortunate to have most of the $10 million ICO is subscribed. We have a small amount remaining for crowd sale.
Excellent. Babu, wish you all the best.
Thank you. Thank you.
And with the first step taken. So next on the panel we have Rikrit. Rikrit, so you've been on the co-chair. You've been the co-chair of one of the investor and dean on the group of institutions. So what do you think is the CII stack on the blockchain and cryptocurrency?
Can I have a mic, please? Good afternoon, everyone. Ramya. So I've got through that because then I got up pretty early and I've just been talking since then, yes. Hello. So I'll use the mic if you don't mind. CI as of now is working with lots and lots of companies in blockchain. There is no stance as of now. So what CI feels is this, that yes, that the blockchain is the way of the future, and plus we're working with the companies to come up with something nice, like as you mentioned as well, that education is coming up with this database of marks and so on and so forth. So CI is working with the think tank over there as well, and thus we're obviously going to come up with some nice ones.
Okay, so what sort of immediate projects or you're embarking upon when it comes to universities and institutions? What do you see immediate use of blockchain technology there?
Well, I've invested personally in various new tech as well in the past as well. So so AR, VR, MR, AI, IoT, and so on and so forth. So as a personal investor, what I'm seeing right now in terms of blockchain is that there are various uses in education itself. So I'll talk mostly about what I feel is the future of blockchain in education, because we also run a chain of schools in Chandigarh and Punjab. We have 12 schools over there. So what I feel right now is that blockchain can lead to a lot of transparency in terms of education as well. Example sake, let's just say that you've got X, Y, Z marks in class 10, and then you've got A, B, C marks in plus 2 and so on, and plus you go on to college. Now to take out those records from schools isn't an easy task. So if you apply to Harvard, Stanford, Yale, whatever, you like Ivy Leagues, right? So you're at the mercy of the current institution where you've done your last level of education from. So keeping this in mind, blockchain can turn into a database where a lot of your marks can be stored, of course, your attendance and so on. So let's just say that Harvard wants to see that, okay, Rahul got this marks in class 10, plus 2 college and so on, and plus he came to school at this time and he was present most of the time and so on and so forth. Blockchain can solve a lot of issues which are based on the fact that power is concentrated in the hands of a few in education. So blockchain can decentralize education in this sense as well. It can lead to a future where everyone is responsible for their own facts and records. So rather than just having a few institutions charge a high amount of money for giving you these records, this is the most cost-effective way to make sure that your further education everything can be kept in focus.
Okay. And since you come from the management of institutions, right? Always has been a discussion for ages in India that the education has not been able to keep pace with the technological advancement. Now, with the blockchain and hundreds of other things moving so fast,
How do you take the courses in your institutions?
Yeah.
How do you keep pace with it?
So I wouldn't really want to rock the boat over here as well because educationist friends. I have lots of educationist friends who I can see over here as well. But keeping this in mind, yes, education hasn't been the growth in terms of education hasn't been at par with tech. Education institutions in India are still backward to a certain extent. Tech can help in that, of course, but then the focus of tech shouldn't be administration. It should be to solve learning gaps. So if you can come up with a case study or a use case where blockchain is being used to plug in those learning gaps, I think that's what would really change education. Various tech in the past has, of course, there are a few educations who I'm in touch with, based in Delhi and Pune and so on and so forth that have used tech to help their students. So they use AR, as I mentioned, VR and 3D printing as well, IoT too. So it's this age-old question. I feel it will take some time, but then if you can plug in those gaps, I think that's where the future lies.
Thank you for being honest.
But then I have to be, right?
Thank you.
No, you don't have to be, but you are. Thank you for being here.
So we have Ankit Chaudhary with us. And Ankit, why don't you tell us more about your company and what you do, and so we'll take questions further on that.
Definitely. So good afternoon, everybody. And while starting to introduce the whole market, I'll pick up from. I think I'll not use it, so it's better. I'll pick up from where my colleagues have really spoken so far. When we talk about whether we talk about the gaming point, so the biggest factor that we're considering is about one, definitely trust. Second, about how cross-border transactions, which are beyond geographies, can be managed through it. So that is covered again by blockchain and by cryptocurrency. Second, we talked about land records. Again, the gap there is that how to trust the system, how the system can be unbiased when it comes to trust and being provided by blockchain again. Second, again, as he highlighted, that what's happening between states or what's happening at the national level, when that interaction has to be regular, it's again provided by blockchain. So third, we came to education in terms of the records being available, not just locally, but we're talking about a student graduating from a university here, going for Wharton or Yale or any other college for that matter. How validated records without attestations, without the lengthy process of getting it verified, can automatically be picked up, which can be done if the trust is automated. So the biggest advantage that blockchain brings is that it's so widespread in terms of the network of the database that the trust factor does not rely with one central factor. Databases have been there for a long time. What's impactful about this technology is that it's decentralizing those databases to common people or participants of a certain set of blockchain, and taking the power away from one particular set of centralized database. We realized that beyond these human interactions, there's another set of interactions which is actually growing strongly. Are connected today when we walk into a home, we're already carrying a device in our hand which is connected throughout 24. We can't just live without it. The next we step into a bedroom are televisions, and that's in a developing economy like India. Televisions are all connected to systems, whether you're watching Netflix or whether you're watching something else, and you can now even shop on your televisions. Third, as more technology is coming into play, thanks to some of the real estate developers who are connected to the world outside also, they're bringing in home connected solutions also. They're bringing in security solutions which are again connected. These interactions are not human interactions, impacted by humans but not human interactions. These are between machines. And we saw an opportunity wherein these machines, when they're corresponding with each other, they really need something to validate the entire chain in terms of transactions, whether that be for support. When machines seek support from each other, that's by default. They speak a language wherein they need assistance from the next machine. So that is where we thought that though this technology with other cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin or Ethereum would transact, but how do they specifically pass on a message which talks about inter-machine support? There was a platform needed which could provide that capability to them, and that is how we thought about support market, and we're creating it right now. It comes with an experience of about managing a similar technology on centralized databases wherein we have the power. We sought information from our consumers without giving anything to them in return, and without that trust factor other than our own brand name, we could utilize that data to create future technologies too. But decentralization gave us an opportunity wherein we informed our consumers about how their devices would communicate, how we'll improvise on it, how their support would be provided without manual intervention, and how this transaction can happen through support points, which is where support market came into play. And today, we're looking at launching our ICO. The intent of the ICO is, one, definitely to raise funds for the technological development, but at the same time to build a community which becomes the first adapter of decentralized IoT support. And we'll be going live with it in a couple of weeks from now.
Very interesting. Amazing. So I'm sure there are many questions, and the stuff you all shared is so interesting. And you are launching ICO, he's already launching ICO, he's already launched ICO, and I'm sure Rikwit is straight to go out of the room and launch an ICO. So there are so many interesting things. And so so we've been hearing about a lot of things, but on this panel we have people who already done those. So I think I'm sure there are questions, but we're running a little short on time, sir. So maybe we can take it one-to-one separately. We just need to, recover some of the time. So, gentlemen, thank you very much for your time, and thank you for sharing.